Hey everyone, in this video we are going to look at how to make a 3D model of a barrel. We're going to be using the free-to-use 3D Builder application that comes with Windows 10. If it doesn't come with your Windows 10 computer, you can download it for free from the Windows Store. So we're going to start by clicking on Insert, and then we're going to click on Sphere. So what we're going to do, we're going to stretch this vertically and then lop off the top and the bottom, and that gives us our basic barrel shape. So at the bottom here, you have three tools. I'm not going to call every time I use them, but there's a move, there's a rotate, and there's a scale. So we're going to click on scale. We're going to grab the double arrow at the top, so not the corner. We're not scaling the whole thing. We're just scaling along the vertical axis. And I'm just eyeballing this. You can do the precise math if you want, because you have the various coordinates or degrees depending on which tool you've clicked on. I'm just eyeballing this. So we've stretched it vertically. Now we're going to click on Edit, and we're going to click on Split. And what we can do is we can move this plane up and down. So first we're going to change to Keep Bottom, and we're going to move this up to the top. And again, you can look at precise positioning. I'm not going to. I'm just looking at what looks right to me. And then you click on Split. And now just rinse and repeat. Split, keep top, slide it down, and again, I'm just going to kind of look to see if that looks about right. Okay, and we click on Split. So now, even though we started with an orb, we started with a sphere, it has a basic barrel shape now. So now we want to hollow it out. So we're going to duplicate this. And actually, let's move this down so it's flat, or should I say it's level on the floor plane. So we're going to go to Object with this selected, and we're going to click on Duplicate. We're going to slide it over. This one, we're going to scale using the corner because we want it to scale in all directions, but then we're going to scale it up vertically, because we don't want it to have the same diameter. So we want it to protrude out the top and the bottom. That way it's hollow, but we want to keep some thickness there. And just can rotate to make sure it's out of the top and the bottom. And that actually kind of looks like an olive. You could make that red and call it a day. Now you have an olive. Anyways, so we're going to click on Edit. And we're going to use the Subtract tool. The way Subtract works is whatever object is selected, it will be removed, and the portion of any other object it's intersected with. So it's intersecting with the center of the barrel, so that will get subtracted. So we click on Subtract, and now we have a hollow barrel. So really only two things left to do. We need to slice this up into individual planks, and then we're going to just create a ring along the top and the bottom. So we're going to go back to Split. Now this time what we're going to do is we're going to rotate this up. Now, an object, 360 degrees for a round object, okay? So what you're going to do is when you're splitting this up, you're going to want to use a number that is evenly divisible into 360. That way, every time you splice this, you'll get an object of an equal size. So we're going to use 30. So what we do is now we want to keep both. We can start at 0, and in this case, I will indeed do the math, because in this case, I do want it to be an even 30. And we just do Split. And now it's just rinse and repeat. You just keep rotating that 30 degrees. As you can see, it split it all the way through. So, split, rotate. Now, depending which way you rotate this plane, you might find that the yaw changes. So, depending which way you rotate it, it's either going to be a 0 going into the positives, or it's going to start at negative 180 and going into the negatives. As long as it's a difference of 30 each time. So negative 150, so 180 minus 30 is 150. And then split. So that is the width of your section, your plank. And then it's just a matter of doing that over and over again. So split, rotate it again. Actually, let me do it this way because I want to show you what I mean. So if we rotate it that way, See how yours is 0 now? Well, we did 30, so if we're going like this, okay, we did 30, so that means we're going to want 60. Split. And again, rinse and repeat. Rotate it. And rotating it this way. And now this time it's negative, but it's 90 because we did 30, 60. So we're minusing out 90 from we're minusing out 90 from negative 180, which would therefore be negative 90. Split and just double check again. Nice even split. So this time it's okay, still negative, so negative 90, but then minus another 30, so negative 60. And then split, and split again. And we want this one to be negative 30. And there you go. So now it's split into exactly even planks. Now, you can leave it like this, but the problem is that space really wouldn't be evident. So if you want an actual gap, what you could do is you could just merely move these out individually. So first let's deselect all. And now we're just going to move each one out. And I'm just going to eyeball this. Here I'm not going to do the math. And it's just moving it out along both axes. So just over and out. And there. So again, this part I'm just eyeballing. You can actually do the math to see how much each one should move out, but it's good enough for this demonstration. Part of it is set to snap to grid, so it might actually snap to an intersection point that you're not that you really don't want it to. But anyway, so there's our barrel. Now we're just going to add a ring to the top and the bottom. So we're going to go to Insert. We're going to go to Cylinder. Let's go ahead and move that over. We're going to scale that down. We're going to Object, Duplicate. I'm going to slide that over. And again, we're going to do a similar process. We're going to hollow out the ring by shrinking this in and then stretching it out. So grab the corner to shrink it in all directions, and then grab the double arrow to stretch it out. So that's a little wide, so let's stretch this out some more, and then just make sure it's centered. And if you're hollowing something out completely, make sure it passes through. I'm just going to deselect all and then click on this to make sure I have the right object selected. So again, Edit, Subtract. There you have your ring. Move it over. And depending where you want it on the barrel, you may need to scale it out because, again, I just used the default size. And then once you have the size that you want, you should then again be able to Object, Duplicate, slide it over, and then move it out. There you go. You have a simple barrel. And one of the nice things is since this is actually broken down into individual pieces, you could actually make the barrel destructible, but that's an entirely different tutorial. So I hope you found this helpful. If there's something else you'd like to see drawn in 3D Builder, just let me know. Again, I'm a fan of 3D Builder because I think it's a great way for indie developers to make, if nothing else, placeholder graphics. That way they're not purchasing a bunch of primitives and things like that. When you're in your prototyping stage, when you're in the stage where you don't even know if the project is going to come to fruition, you really don't want to be putting out a lot of resources. So by using 3D Builder, you can make your own polygons. You can make your own 3D models, I should say. So again, I hope that this was helpful, and have a good night.